So we will again start with the concept of strings. Last time I told you about a string. This is a string. It's basically an array of character. Now this array is used to store a word or a sentence or a whole paragraph. Basically, when we want to store multiple characters, we are going to use the concept of strings. The name of string can be anything. Name of string can be A, it can be B, can be anything. It depends upon your choice. I have named the string as LMN. You know, whatever the name of the array is, the name of array will always contain the starting address. This is how the string will look like. This is the array of 20 bytes. This array of 20 bytes can hold a word of maximum 19 characters, because one byte is always reserved for backslash of 0. Backslash 0, as you know, is used to separate the actual information from the garbage information. So last time I told you how to scan it. Let me show you scanning and printing again. I'll ask for a word from the user. I'll say enter any word. I'll scan that word by writing %s of str. Three things again I would like to tell you people. First is, we have not used a loop. We are not scanning the individual positions of the string. %c has been replaced by %s. Ampersand has not been written, because what I have written here is str. str being the name of the array will always contain the starting address. If I wish to print it, whatever string is entered, I will simply say %s of str. That's all. Let us see how it works. I'll execute this for you. I'll enter some word. That word gets printed on the user screen. Any word, if I enter any word, something like this, it gets stored in my string. Now you should imagine how Nagpur has been stored. On each byte of the string, NAGPUR gets stored, and on the next available byte, backslash of 0 is placed. When I asked to print, the printing took place automatically from the starting address till the backslash of 0, wherever backslash of 0 is located. Now last time I told you people about this header file. As math.h contains functions related to mathematics, string.h contains functions related to strings operations. One of the most common function that you encounter here is this. A function called as strlen. Strlen means a function to find the length of the string. This function, if you pass a string to it, returns the number of characters in the string. By number of characters, I don't mean backslash of 0. Excluding backslash of 0, the number of characters that are stored in the string are returned by the function strlen. I'll quickly show you the demo of this program. See, here I'll write down r equals to strlen, and in the brackets I'll be passing str. Now the only thing that you have to remember while operating upon strings is, for every operation you need to pass only the starting address of the string. Again I say, the name of the string could have been anything. It could have been PQR, it could have been ABC, whatever the name of the string, you just need to specify that. If the name of my string would have been PQR, everywhere I would have written PQR. Basically you have to write down the name over there. I have defined a string called as str, so everywhere I have written str. Now when you read str and someone asks you, okay, what is this str? Don't say it's the string. Say str is the name of array, and name of array will always represent the starting address of the array. Let us see how this function works. What I have done is, I have scanned a string, I have passed that string to the function strlen. This function will count the number of characters in the string, return the value into R, that R I have tried to print over here. So, if I execute this program and show you the output, you can understand that if I entered Sai as the input, SAI, it calculated or counted 3 values and returned the value 3. Next function I will show you people is this. Here I will be using another function. Instead of strlen, let me write down strupr. Strupr is a function which converts the sequence of characters from lowercase to uppercase. Obviously, what it will do is it will check each character of the string. If the encountered character is lowercase, it will replace the lowercase character with uppercase. So, strupr is a function which converts every character of the string into uppercase. If I wish to use it now, this is what I should be writing. Converted string, I will be writing down str. Let us check what happens. If I enter something like this, purposefully I have written some lowercase alphabets and some uppercase alphabets. See what happens to the string. Each lowercase alphabet has been successfully replaced by the uppercase alphabet. The function has gone into the array, every character has been verified, and each lowercase alphabet is converted into uppercase. As you have strupr, there is also a function for the same strlwr. It's very simple to understand. strupr converts the string from lower to uppercase. strlwr converts every uppercase character to lowercase. Next, I have a very interesting function called as strrev. I'll just show you that. strrev. See, I'll write down strrev over here, and again please note, every time I am writing str into it, basically I am passing the string to the function, or I should say I am passing the starting address of the string to the function. So, strrev, as the name suggests, it will reverse the sequence of characters stored in the string. Imagine a string containing A, B, C, D, E, F. If you pass that string to the function strrev, it will reverse the sequence of characters, and that would be FEDCBA. I will just show you that. See, whatever string I have, I will try to print it. See, A, B, C, D, E, F. What did it do? It converted or reversed the sequence of characters stored in the string. Next function I have is a very important function. Here I will define two strings for you, str1, and I will define another string str2. I hope you are not confused. Try imagining this thing. Okay, you have two arrays in front of you, one is str1 and one is str2. This is the address of the first array, this is going to be the address of the second array. So, when I wish to scan a word in first array, I will be saying str1. Now, what I wish to do is, I have scanned the information in the first string. I wish to copy that information into another string. Normally what happens is, I will be doing this. In C language, we use the assignment operator for assigning one value into another. See, till date, when I wrote this, everyone understands value of A is assigned in the variable B. Whenever you want to copy a value from one variable into another, you use the assignment operator. But over here over here, this statement is going to be an invalid statement, because mind well, str1 and str2 do not stand for the name of variables. What do they stand for? They stand for addresses of arrays. You can't copy the address of one array and change the address of another array. That is not possible. The address of array remains fixed throughout the execution of the program. Why was it valid over here? Because A and B were the names of variables. The value of a variable can very easily be assigned into another variable. So, this I would keep for you just to tell you people that this statement is invalid, whereas this statement is basically a valid. Let me write down the reason for you. Because str1 and str2 are addresses of arrays. And why is this valid? Because A and B are the names of variables. So, how to go about this now? How to copy the contents of str1 into str2? For that, string.h again contains a function called as strcpy. As the name suggests, strcpy, it stands for string copying. It will copy the contents of one string into another. But remember, you have to understand this thing. The destination where the copying has to take place should be the first string, and the string that has to be copied has to be the second string. Now, in the example, str1 contains a word, str2 right now is blank, or say it contains garbage value. Now, when I want to copy the contents of one string into another, this is what I will be writing, strcpy, and here I will be writing down str2 comma str1. So, what's going to happen is the contents of str1 will be copied into str2. Whatever is available in str1, that will remain intact, but the contents of str1 will get copied into str2. We can confirm this by printing the second string over here by writing %s of str2. So, what I have done, I have scanned a word in str1, I have copied str1 into str2, and then I have tried to print the contents of the second string on the user screen. So, let me do this. Scanning is done in first string, copying took place into the second string, and when I printed the second string, I got the same output. There is one more related function, a similar sort of function, where the function instead of strcpy is called strcat. CAT means concatenation. Concatenation means joining of two things. If I have an object, I join another object at the end of that object, that is called as concatenation of objects. So, I have a function called as strcat, and here I will be scanning two words from the user. I will say enter two words. I will scan the two words str1, str2, and see what I am doing. I have scanned both the arrays from the user. I have two words from the user. What will this do is strcat will concat the contents of the second string at the end of the first string. I repeat, strcat will concat the contents of the right string at the end of the left string. So, while printing, let me do this. I will try to print both the strings for you, str1 as well as str2. So, let us see what happens. This is first string, this is second string. What happened into the first string? The contents of the second string got concated at the end of the first string. So, strcpy copies, strcat concates. Similar sort of function I will show you is this. A very interesting function and very commonly used function. I'll use the function called as strcmp. CMP stands for compare. Here we are talking about comparing two words. In earlier programs or in normal day-to-day life, we compare magnitude of numbers. We say 20 is greater than 10 or something like that. We go for comparison of values. We go for comparison of numbers. We go by comparing the weightage of the numbers. But while comparing the words, it's not about number comparison, it's not about magnitude comparison, it's not about comparing the length of the words. While comparing, I mean to say the actual ASCII values of the corresponding characters are compared. That means, I'll give you an example over here. Let us say I have two words, something like this. I have been asked to compare the two words. Now, when the comparison takes place, R will be compared with R. Corresponding character comparison takes place. R will be compared with R. Both are same. A will be compared with A. Again, both are same. Here M will be compared with H. Now, M and H do not match. As soon as mismatch takes place, the further comparison is stopped. ASCII values are compared, whether M is greater or whether H is greater. Now, in terms of ASCII values, I would say the ASCII value of M is greater than H. So, what happens internally is ASCII values are subtracted. M minus H is subtracted and obviously it will return a positive value. Another example I will take. Again, comparison will be between two corresponding characters. R are compared, they are same. A and O will be compared, mismatch takes place. Again, further comparison is stopped. A and O are compared. In terms of ASCII values, the ASCII value of O is greater than A. So, this will try to return A minus O, the difference between the ASCII values, that is A minus O, and A minus O, because O is greater, as you know, it will return a negative value. If I have this, RR are same, AA are same, MM are same, till the last character, every character that I compared were same, and only then I will say both the strings are same, and then it would return a value 0. So, let me show you this. Let me show you this with a working example. We have to keep a focus on the variable R. What does R return? So, I will simply say returned value %d of R. So, again the same strategy. I have scanned two strings. I have compared them, their comparison will be available in the variable R. That R I have printed. Let me show you all the examples. RR compared, AA compared, M and H got mismatched, and because of that it returned a positive value. Similarly, I will give you another example. It returned a negative value. Why did it return a negative value? Because RR are same, but when A and O got compared, O is greater than A, so it returned a negative value. And finally, when I have these two words, it returns a value 0. There is one more example that I wish to tell you is this. See, what happened is R is same, A is same, comparatively M is same, but first string is terminated, whereas second string has still got E, S, H. So, now the difference between 0 minus E will be returned, and it will return a negative value. So, this function strcmp is available where I can compare the two strings. There are many more functions available, but I have considered only main basic functions, the 7 functions. First is length, second is uppercase, third is lowercase, fourth is reversing, fifth was copying, sixth was concatenation, and seventh was comparison with the help of strcmp. Now, what we can do is, based upon this, I would like to write down a simplest of program for you. I hope you remember something like this. We have seen this earlier. We have worked with numeric palindromes. Now palindromes, you know, this number is a palindrome. A number which if reversed will give you the same number is basically a palindrome. Even in that class, I must have explained you that actually palindrome is for words. This is palindromes. These are palindromes. Words when reversed, if you get the same word, is called as a palindrome. There are many more words which are palindrome. These are palindromes. Now I have to write down a program which checks whether an entered word is a palindrome or not. So the easiest logic would be to reverse that word, compare whether the original word and the reversed word are same or not. If they are same, I could say they are palindrome. If they mismatch, then it is not a palindrome. I repeat, if the word and its reversed word both are same, then it's a palindrome. If the reversed word and the original word do not match, then it is not a palindrome. So I already have a list of functions with me. I'll simply write down hash include string.h. I'll define a string which can hold a word for me. I'm taking a bit bigger string. Now while reversing the string, the original sequence will be lost. So what I'll do is I'll define another string with me called as original, so that the original contents of the string remains with me. I'll ask for the word from the user. I'll say enter any word. Let me scan it. %s of str. So I already have a word from the user in the string called as str. Now what I have to do is I have to first store this word somewhere so that I can compare it later with the reverse string. So storage, as I told you earlier, this is absolutely wrong. Should never do this. This is correct when you have variables with you. When you have strings and if someone asks you to copy, then you should be using the function strcpy, and this should be the sequence. Contents of str will be copied into ORI. So now I have a string which has been copied into ORI. I am free to reverse the string. I'll say strrev of str. I'm reversing the contents of str. ORI contains the original string, str contains the reverse string. Now I have to compare them, and while comparing, I need a variable r, and this is how I'll compare. When the comparison of the original string and the reverse string will take place, r will possibly get three values. It may be a positive, it may be a negative, or it may be a 0. Now I am interested whether they are same or not. You know, when the strings are same, it will return a value 0. So here I have to write down, if r is equals to 0, that means both the words original and reversed are same. I'll say that the entered word is a palindrome, and if it is not same, then I'll simply print over here it is not a palindrome. So how simple? Because of these three functions, my job has been very simple. I just need to check if the program works properly. I'll execute this. I'll enter the word ABCD. It will say it is not a palindrome. Obviously, ABCD is not a palindrome. But if I enter some other word, it says Malayalam is a palindrome. So these few programs are just an introductory programs of strings. Try executing these programs on your own. These programs are a bit different from the regular programs because handling of string is always going to be a difficult thing. Every student faces difficulties while handling a string. So please execute these few programs to get a feel of strings. Thank you.